8 years going strong. Your boy Chili hanging out with you. Y'all know the deal. The Tuesday two-piece and about to try to make this thing cook and quick because I got some packing that I got to do. Um, I am moving, so I will still be out here in some capacity, hanging out and doing things. I'll be at like the ASU practices and sevens events, and the off season won't be too different than what I was already doing. Going out to some battle events, Elite 11s, camps and whatever else. So, whatever questions that you have, make sure that you holler, check in. At Just Chili, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, you know the deal, or X or whatever it is. Just Chili TV, as long as TikTok is still available till about like the 19th, 20th, from what I understand. And then obviously YouTube. And I guess I have to like plug the whole subscribe thing. I guess that's like a thing. So, support your guys. That supports your guys. And, I still believe Arizona, we have like one of the strongest like high school football prep coverage situations probably in the country, at least based on like the things that I hear from around the way and stuff. So yeah, so there's that. But anyways, I do got to show some love. I do got to show some love to my people over here at Quest. They got these like protein chips, absolutely bananas. I absolutely love them. Um, this is not my favorite flavor. My favorite flavor is actually like the taco flavor. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it's called. One of these days, I'll post a picture on like my Instagram when they send me another box of those. So, other than that, yeah, got a lot of things to talk about regarding like high school football and uh, things going on in the seven space or whatever. Suns are struggling, no different than anything that's been going on pretty much all season. Trying to figure that thing out right now. They're struggling with the Hawks. They're battling San Antonio, Wemby and company, and Golden State, Curry and company for that play-in spot, if you will. So, uh, I listen. I don't. I want to be so worried for my Suns fans out there. I want to be too worried or concerned. I do think that the Suns will be fine, and they will make the playoffs. They'll be okay. Probably make a nice little run in the playoffs. It would be nice if Bradley Beal would waive that no trade clause. I've been talking about this for a while now. Listen, I didn't hate the signing of Beal, didn't love it, but didn't hate bringing Beal on, didn't love it, but uh, you know, it just hasn't quite worked out like the way that people all hoped. Injuries amongst this quote unquote big three are a thing, and it is what it is. But would love to see him get dealt for Butler and bring Butler in. Butler usually provides um, immediate impact of sorts to the teams that he is with. I know he wears out his welcome also pretty quickly. Um, but it is what it is. So there's that. NFL playoffs are upon us. We do got some Arizona guys. I'm sure I'm gonna miss a bunch of them, but Hogan Hatton, long snapping for the Lions, played for Saguaro and Pinnacle. Mark Andrews, tight end for the Ravens, tight end for the Ravens. Was a wide receiver over at Desert Mountain. Um, did his thing over there as a wide receiver. Um, Byron Murphy, part of that Minnesota Vikings defense slash dance team, uh, because they're known for their celebrations. They're known for their sellies, isn't that what everybody says? Their sellies, their choreographed sellies that they were doing. Also played at Saguaro. Um, Keely Ringo over there, defensive back for the Eagles. Um, did big things in the uh, college football championship games for Georgia. Um, also played at Saguaro. There's like a trend here. One, all these guys that I mentioned are from this Scottsdale-ish area, and three of the four played at Saguaro, coached by legendary current ASU tight ends coach Jason Mons. So shout out to Coach Mons, who I always give flowers to whenever I get an opportunity to. Me and Gridiron, we are going to break down one of these seven teams in the Valley. Um, actually, I don't, one of these seven teams, kind of based in Tucson, kind of. Anyways, we're gonna break down a great sevens team inside the number segment. It's gonna be legit. We are gonna bring back the yellow pad. That yellow pad's not going anywhere. That's a signature trademark of Gridiron. You see yellow pad, you think Gridiron. That's the way that goes. But real quick, Showcase 27 competed out there at Pylon Vegas. Took second place, went 7-1, lost in the championship to a very talented low pro team that was quarterbacked by I believe Micah Eugenio from Bishop Gorman. They had some dogs. Aiden Whitaker was doing his job both ways, offense, defense, as an athlete from Saguaro. Jake Rogers, Don Barjona, both of them were absolutely dealing in Vegas. They were dealing in Vegas. Just want you guys to think about that. Quarterbacks for this Showcase 27 team. And then, what's it called? Elijah Carruthers, defensive back from Centennial. Gabriel Diaz, defensive back from Basha. Boys was balling, doing their thing, absolutely cooking. They just lost in the championship. Look, no shame. You're going to lose games. Low Pro also cleaned up the first two OT7, I believe, OT7 regionals last year here in Phoenix. And I want to say one in Florida. No, Texas, something like that. So, look, shout out to them. Always doing their thing. Very well coached. Very good program over there. So, want to show them some love. I believe they're based out of Hawaii. So yeah, there's that. Look, Red Zone Elite going on this weekend, the official kickoff of 7-on-7s, and Battle Miami is going down. And me and Gridiron, before we get into breaking down this great 7-on-7 roster that I see before me on this yellow pad, we are going to discuss something that we omitted last week. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on one of my favorite people in the entire football coverage landscape here in the state of Arizona. The one, the only Gridiron Arizona. Stay tuned. Hang out with your boy. You know the deal. Legendary Gridiron Arizona. Appreciate you hanging out. Look, last week we broke down this Tucson Turf roster that is going to Miami, this national team, but we omitted a few guys, not on purpose.
Didn't get everybody on the roster.
Not on purpose. We just maybe we couldn't fit them on the yellow pad. We ran out of ink. I don't know what the deal is, but and typically I do know the deal. But Devin Fitzgerald from Brophy, the super talented wide receivers, got a ton of offers. Absolutely special player. He played with Tucson Turf last year also. And Noah Roberts, the spectacular running back from Basha, an absolute dynamo out of the backfield. Their two-headed backfield over there. Absolutely phenomenal 2027 baller. Mm-hmm. Gridiron, any words from you on those two? Because I know that they would like to hear the legendary Gridiron Arizona say some nice things about them.
Well, first off, with the Tucson Turf team, we talked about them last week on the show. If you missed it, it's on the Just Chili YouTube channel there.
Yeah,
show date of January 7, where we broke down the rest of the roster. But just looking at Devin and Noah here, you got Devin Fitzgerald, Brophy wide receiver. He's a junior, 6'2", 195, has a 3.7 GPA. Last season had 52 catches for 720 yards and 9 touchdowns. This was his second season on varsity for the Broncos. Had a game against Mountain Point this year, 7 catches, 101 yards and a touchdown. Has 19 total offers, including Arizona, Duke, Minnesota, Pitt, where, of course, his dad Larry played, and also has 4 Ivy League offers. He's smart. Yeah, he's smart. He's going to be, that's half the Ivy League, by the way. That's 4 of the 8 teams. He's going to be repping AZ at the Super Bowl in New Orleans as part of Nike's The Next Ones, who was honored by the Cardinals there toward the end of the season. He's gone on unofficial visits to Notre Dame, Duke, and Michigan during the season this year. Okay. Then you got Noah Roberts over at Basha, the running back. He's a sophomore. 6'1", 200. He ran a 10.88 in the 100 at last year's state meet as a 2024 stats for him had 1,067 rush yards, 19 touchdowns, and then he also had 32 catches for 358 yards and 5 TDs for a total of 24 TDs. Obviously in 7, so he won't be running the ball. He'll be making those receptions, so this can help him work on that a little more too. This was his second season on varsity. He did play for the Bears as a freshman. Had a game against Mesa this year, 8 carries, 146 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He has 17 offers in total so far, including Alabama, Arizona State, Nebraska, Ohio State, and Oregon. Was the 6A Premier Region Offensive Player of the Year. Set the Basha school record for touchdowns in a season with 24, as we mentioned there. And he went on an unofficial visit to Tennessee during the season.
Hey, you real quick before we get too far into this, and we break down this amazing 7-on-7 team that we are about to break down. Do you think that in your professional gridiron opinion, which holds a lot of weight, no, but do you think that Noah Roberts is going to enter the chat of best running back ever to come out of Arizona, based on where he's at right now?
He's not going to eclipse Bijan. No.
Okay.
So,
so you don't think, but he'll enter the chat.
It would not surprise me to see him put up 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons
at the highest level, which is impressive.
You're right, and Bijan did his in the 4A. That's correct. When that's what South Point was when he was in high school. Mm-hmm.
He had no control over that either.
Right.
So so there's that. I just like to put that out there because people often they'll say that things like, "Oh, he only played 4A," as if he had
and with the offense too, it's a little bit difficult to rack up the stats on it. Because Basha has a good passing offense, and they return their quarterback next season in Brody Veers. And so we've had guys at the highest level get 2,000 rush yards in a season. So I mean, I'm not going to say it's impossible for him to get 2,000 yards in a season, but it would probably be a little bit difficult. But he's certainly, I haven't seen too many sophomores roll up 17 offers before they're even finished with their sophomore year. So that's definitely impressive.
No, he's definitely
big time offers. The big time Power 4 offers.
He's definitely special without question. Absolutely
love the work. He shared the backfield last season. I saw Basha
at the end.
I saw Basha during the playoffs there, so he wasn't getting. This wasn't the workhorse getting 25 carries kind of situation over there either.
I mean, Bijan didn't get 25 carries either, really, like all the time. Like obviously, unless he played like Saguaro, because like I can't remember which team he played. He played an East Valley team, and he rolled up like 300 yards in the first half and like 5 touchdowns, and I was able to catch most of another game because that game was in hand. So, but anyways, there's that. So, I just wanted to. I was just curious if you thought, in your opinion, that Noah Roberts might enter the chat of best running back ever in Arizona.
It's certainly something to think about here for the next.
Your cat thinks so. Yeah, your cat, I think, has a say and is trying to let you know, like, hey, Gridiron, let me get some of this FaceTime.
Let me tell you, he just might be. Don't be shutting that off right now.
Trying to let you know, trying to unfortunately, without the opposable thumbs, can't really fully get all the texts in. But anyways, let's break down this amazing 7-on-7 team, because we are loaded with a ton of talented 7-on-7 teams here in the state of Arizona, and one of them is my guy, Coach Gaddis, his GGE team. I believe that is Gaddis Gaines Elite.
That is yep.
This 2025 national team, which will be traveling around the country and stuff, loaded with Zealand Danielson, Aiden Welshman, the quarterbacks over there. One from Saguaro, one from Granger, Utah. Aiden Welshman actually played some football here in the state of Arizona. Then he's got a ton of athletes. Jake Bondi, Romeo Berryhill, who's absolutely spectacular over there at Centennial. Elijah Jackson, Javian Wright, Chris Zimmerman from Mountain Point. Defensive backs, this kid, I absolutely love him. Josh Carter from Centennial, and one of my favorite defensive backs, trying to take over and make this whole Higley Penitentiary 3.0 go. Nasim Eason, little brother of Nidrell, who has Nidrell Jail, and Ramari Hodge and Christian Ortiz from Desert Edge, Miles Polite and from Perry, and Brian Wilkinson from Higley. Wide receivers, Mark Enriquez, Sir John Parker, and Malachi Rodriguez, all from Copper Canyon. Michael Lawton from Higley, Raiden Medina from Mesquite, and Kamani Young from Perry. Look, I love the way Gaddis put this team together. Like, he didn't just go and try to hit the home runs from all the biggest schools. He went and dug and really tried to get kids from some kind of like obscurish schools slash
You don't
areas.
hear a lot about Copper Canyon, no.
That's my favorite part about this. And some of these guys can go, and he really dug for the talent. So
there's a few of them there where you got multiple kids from the same school too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure one kid told another kid, hey, come through. We got this thing that we're trying to build, make this thing cook. I'm excited to see this team work. GGE is usually highly competitive, a lot of fun to watch. And Gridiron, where do you want to start? You want to start with quarterbacks?
Well, we'll start with the GGE Gaddis Gaines Elite.
Okay.
They've been doing teams for a few years now in sevens. They have a total of 7 teams ranging from 8-year-olds all the way up to the high school team. Cam Gaddis is a Tucson native, went to Santa Rita down there in Tucson, and also played for Pima Community College before going on to Middle Tennessee State. And then he also played in the Arena League. So that's kind of where his background is. We'll go with, we'll start with the quarterback here. We'll talk about the Arizona guy there. Zealand Danielson from Saguaro. Quarterback,
like
just a freshman. 6'2", 220. He got about half the snaps on varsity this season for the SaberCats. Had 982 pass yards, 4 touchdowns, and then also had 110 rush yards and 4 touchdowns. So he, showed he could run the ball a little bit too there. Game against Mountain View kind of had a big breakout there. 23 of 35 for 314 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also had 32 rush yards and a TD. Also plays rugby, big arm, and he's smart. Kind of where I'm looking at there with Zealand. So certainly, a guy that has a potential to play for a while there. He got 3 more years of eligibility, and we'll see how much he improves and everything over there at Saguaro that they're rebuilding, if you will, after the first season over there with the new head coach. We'll look at their roster is a little bit limited in terms of going inside the numbers, especially at wide receiver position. We got some defensive guys that we can talk about. The receiver position, they just don't have the varsity.
Right. Kamani Young was the lower level kid, and Michael Lawton coming up over there at Higley. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
A lot of the guys that will probably be doing something in the 25 season. We just can't go inside those yet. But we can look at some defensive guys. We'll start with another Saguaro guy, Elijah Jackson, sophomore cornerback, 5'9", 170. Last season had 27 tackles, 5 pass breakups. Also returned kickoffs and punts. Had a 65-yard return against Chaminade from California. He transferred to Saguaro from Liberty after his freshman year. We got one of the Copper Canyon guys there, Javian Wright. He's a junior corner. 6 foot 175, first team all 4A Copper Sky region at kick returner. He put up some really nice kick return numbers. Had 48 tackles on defense, 25 of them solo with an interception, along with 564 yards of kick returns. And he averaged 51 return yards per kickoff. Had 4 kickoff return touchdowns, plus 1 receiving, played a little bit of offense. Had 681 total yards. We'll go out to Higley there for Naz Eason, sophomore cornerback, 6'1", 155. Had 22 tackles last season. Already has offers from ASU and San Diego State. Was the defensive MVP at ASU's 7 tournament last June.
Yep.
Certainly that's what led to the offer from the Sun Devils. And then, of course, following in the footsteps of his older brother, Nigel, who's now at UNLV. We got Ramari Hodge from Desert Edge. He's a junior safety, 5'10", 160, had 36 tackles last season, 26 solo, plus an interception. And then Raydon Medina, junior from Mesquite, is a safety, 5'11", 160, had 31 tackles in just 5 games, along with 2 interceptions, and scored 2 touchdowns, 1 receiving, 1 on an interception. He had transferred to Mesquite from Hamilton.
Absolutely, man. They got some dudes over here. They got some dudes that I like, and I think could be special for them. So I'm curious to see how GGE competes at some of the highest levels out here in the Red Zone Elite, because I believe that that's going to be their first tournament, is the Red Zone Elite locally here in the state of Arizona, where I know that we got a ton of teams that are going to be participating. I think I don't know. People keep asking me, Chili, how do you feel about like all these Arizona teams getting players from other states?
Mm. Yeah,
Look,
we talked about that last week with some of the out-of-state guys on the Tucson Turf roster. I mean, so at some points, it's because they gotta fill the roster, especially when they're a traveling team. You got to have enough bodies. Because I'm looking at the GGE Twitter account here. It was just last week. They said we're looking to add one more DB to the roster for high school. Must be committed,
right.
must be willing to travel to tournaments, and so they're they're still looking to fill the roster as of just a week ago. I don't know if they found somebody in the last week or not, but the day before that, they were looking for a big body wide receiver. So they're kind of getting their finalizing their roster before the tournaments begin here. And as you mentioned, getting ready for the Red Zone tournament this week.
Yeah, look, I know Red Zone has like I don't know. I want to say they have like freaking 12 tournaments in the country, like around the country and stuff.
Yeah,
Battle has
they
like
did a tryout last month. I know.
Battle has like I want to say like 4 or 5 or 6 because they have their nationals and stuff like that. OT7 has 4 or 5, and then Pylon has another handful. So like, yeah, it could end up being a lot of traveling and stuff like that. It is a commitment of sorts. I do plead with some of these 7-on-7 teams like, hey, be easy with the commitment that you ask from these kids so that they can play their other sports and maintain their other commitments to the most important one of them is track. And then obviously, like, we're kind of at the end of basketball season and stuff here in Arizona. So make
Everybody
sure that these
over halfway. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, so just make sure that these guys can, fulfill their school obligations too, to their school teams, whatever teams those are, baseball, track, basketball, whatever it, wrestling, if that happens to be one. Usually that's for the big man competitions, but it is what it is. So I don't know,
When
man.
they normally wrap these up in April before spring. The kind of
Yeah,
they go longer than that.
most of these wrap in April. I felt like OT7 was a late June
Oh wow.
finish
Okay.
last year, if I'm not mistaken, because I remember that it was a big thing between Flight Club, uh, Elite 11, and OT7. Would they have kids that were going to quarterback those high level teams, or
Mhm.
would those quarterbacks be at Elite 11? So, it gets tough. And I mean, unfortunately over here, Aiden, I think is going to be a senior, so he might have some Elite 11 obligations. But Zealand, I think, obviously being young, he's only going to do a regional, and then he doesn't have any other commitment after that, so he'll
Mhm.
be okay. And Elite 11 is always on a Sundays. I'm lying, isn't always on a Sunday. So his is only a
But
1 day commitment.
the nationals later in the year in June. Yeah.
Yeah. So, look, I'm super excited. I like this team. I like the makeup. I like grabbing the kids from Copper Canyon, and I like keeping his Tucson ties, grabbing the kid from South Point. I like the Perry kids. I think Miles Polite is gonna be a star for Perry next year. And Higley, Nassim Eason is
Yeah,
is is
they're gonna
already a star.
they're Perry because of course LJ Walker is senior, so they have
And and
someone else
and
step.
Josh Carter also, little brother of Noah Carter, I believe, if
Ah,
I'm not mistaken. So,
here you are, another one on
um,
the block there. It's Cincinnati. Hmm.
and Josh is going to be a star in his own right. That kid's built too. So I think that, I mean, that's things for Centennial to look forward to. And if you're going to be out there for GGA, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know for sure. I probably should have checked
And
before I started the show.
Noah Carter used to catch passes in addition to rushing.
Yeah, yeah. Noah Carter was one of the best 7-on-7 receivers out there.
Hmm.
What's it called? I'm not for sure. I'm pretty sure D-Ghost will be out taking pictures for Red Zone this weekend. So
I didn't
any
I didn't check with him, but I know that this is the season for him.
Yeah. So look,
Those
if,
get
if you're
opportunities at events like this. Yeah.
if you're doing a red zone tournament, throw some money at my guy, JJ Digos. I think it's at Digos Photo on Twitter. I'll let you fact check that for me. But great dude, great quality pictures, really does his thing.
It's J Digos Photo, and that'd be JDIGOS Photo.
Yeah, I was close. I was close.
Close.
So shout out to my guy Digos, super talented photographer. Make sure that you guys, take advantage. He'll be fair on price. He doesn't gouge anybody. Just you guys got 3 games, pay him
Rams
accordingly.
last night.
What's up?
He got to shoot for the Rams last night.
Because he's a goat. He's a goat in the making. So I mean that doesn't surprise me. He's been shooting Cardinals games all season. I'm just trying to let people and look. Me and Gridiron here, we're just trying to let you know the quality of photographer that you are employing when you go with Digos. Like this is a guy that shoots ASU, the Cardinals, the NFL, like whatever. Like I'm sure if the Suns, if he was a basketball guy, he'd be shooting the Suns and all that stuff. And he works heavily in the Arizona high school football community already. He was a coach over there at Arcadia, a coach over there at Apache Junction. So good dude. Look, my thing is support your guys. That's all.
Our guys. Yep.
Hey, look, there's a lot going on. I don't know how much you want to get into it, but coaching situations. New hires about to be made. New hires been made. New hires coming up because coaches are on a move of sorts. Your thoughts on some of these situations? If any.
Well, today I was surprised that ACP opened up.
Yeah. I think that caught the whole high school football world by storm-ish somewhat. Coach Vaught, I'm not sure what the reasoning is. Coach Vaught is an A1 human and one of the best defensive minds that I've ever conversed with. So,
and then of course you got Ty Wisdom now, the new coach over at Chandler, coming back to the state.
That move for Chandler.
Mm-hmm. And then you got Hamilton's coach Dixon, of course, going into his second year,
which is exciting.
Which actually makes Coach Ortiz over at Perry now the second longest tenured Chandler district coach, just behind Coach McDonald. And it doesn't seem like it was that long ago that he came over to Perry. I think this will be his 4th season over at Perry.
Man, that was one of the what's the word I'm looking for? I guess highest profile coaching off seasons, right? Because that was Ortiz, Barrow, Gill. After Gill did that thing over at Sierra Linda, after Barrow won that championship at Casa Grande, and crazy Ortiz did his thing at Cactus, and now I'm wondering where Barrow lands. I think that super talented coach, and
because of course Coach Lauer is now over at Corona del Sol, and I hear that Mountain Point is close to naming their new head coach. Could be as soon as tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm hearing that it is going to be tomorrow. After it was supposed to be like today or something like that. I was hoping to get to talk about it a little bit, but
they keeping it in the Chandler district there. They go and get Joe Bushman, who is a head coach in college over there at Lewis.
I like it.
I thought that was interesting. I haven't heard of too many situations where a head coach in college. It's a D3 school over in Oregon that they've recruited Arizona quite a bit, but he takes the Castile job.
I love that. I talked to Mr. Luchner, the AD over there at Castile, and I thought he was pretty thorough in what he wanted, and I think that this is gonna be a good. I think this is gonna be a good matchup. Him and Bushman, I think, are gonna be able to take Castile to hopefully new places, because the reality is since Castile won that 3A title,
3A. They've won playoff games.
Yeah, but I think everybody was kind of under the impression that after that 3A title, they were eventually going to build up and get some more championships.
Well, it's a little easier said than done in the 6A.
It's tough when you're in the CUSD, but they weren't.
when they made the jump, they went straight from winning that title in 3A to going into 5A the next year.
Into a brutal region, but it wasn't CUSD.
No, it wasn't. No, they were 5A.
Yeah,
They were in like an East Valley one with
it was
like
like Williamsfield,
and
Higley.
Campo and the Gilbert teams. Williamsfield, I think Williamsfield was definitely in there at some point.
Yeah, it was tough.
But before they moved up, and then they made a semifinal in 2019 in the 5A, and then this was when I think this was still when they were doing enrollment. It was before the based on performance. So Castile got big enough that they had to go up to 6A in 2020, and they have made the playoffs. All let's see, this will be their 5th year. All 5 of their years in 6A, they made the playoffs. And they did make another semifinal in 2022 under Coach Newcomb. They played Pinnacle to a high-scoring, close game the year that Pinnacle made the championship.
Yeah. Hey, listen, before I let you go, Gridiron, I am curious. Do you think that we are going to have some Arizona representatives in the Super Bowl this year?
I heard you talking about some of the Arizona guys.
I'm sure I missed some, but
I didn't look and see what rosters have what guys anymore, because I know that some of them are on as practice squad guys, and some don't play as much. So it wouldn't surprise me if there were a couple, though. Absolutely.
Okay. I'm just curious. I'm thinking we have a really, really good shot of getting an on-field participant from the NFC.
The Ravens definitely have a chance. You were talking about Mark Andrews.
Well, yeah, obviously, but I'm thinking from the NFC, obviously, with Hogan Hatton being the long snapper for Detroit, and then Keely Ringo being a defensive back for the Eagles. I'm thinking that
could be
one of those things very likely.
If they both win at home this week and they're both more than touchdown favorites, then you could certainly see that. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm excited. Hey, listen, another 7-on-7 team next week.
Yep.
Not sure who. If you guys are interested, feel free to reach out to Gridiron at Gridiron Arizona. Inside the Numbers segment, Men Lie, Women Lie.
Trying to figure out who to do next. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Hey, I'm sure somebody will jump at the opportunity, and I can't wait to find out who it's going to be. Hit either one of us up. Like I said, at Gridiron Arizona on X, because that's the only place you can find him. He's not on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, none of that stuff. So make sure that you holler at him. Also, Gridiron, some of your other works that you got going on that are published.
On Sports 360 AZ today. Let's see if it's still the main one on here. I don't know if anybody else has posted anything today. Let's check that real quick. There's other stuff on here. It's on the homepage though. Did an article on Desert Edge, kind of looking at that it wasn't just seniors on that team this year. Kind of looked at 7 of their guys who are either freshmen, sophomores, or juniors that will be back, that have already contributed quite a bit on the varsity team. Had a chance to talk to Coach Henry there last Friday, and then put an article together for that for Sports 360 AZ.
Yeah, their program's absolutely loaded. Loaded with ballers.
And they're staying in 5A, so they're probably the preseason number 1, I think, in the 5A.
Gotta be. They're so loaded. And
Higley moves up. Horizon and Desert Mountain still there, but I think I would take Desert Edge right now with what they have over those.
Easy. You got to. Yeah. You got to. They're the champs in that conference until somebody beats them, right? So
I mean,
we'll see how
there were 4 teams that were in the open, is what we're getting at, and so you had Marana obviously loses their main piece there in Des. They do return the quarterback
and another Roebuck.
Yep, another Roebuck. Yep, and then you have Desert Mountain and Horizon. Horizon's quarterback was a senior. They returned the running back, Bodie Zamorano. Desert Mountain was a little bit younger last year, but they managed to get back to the open. So, they'll be in the mix as well. But I think just from a talent standpoint, I think I would rank Desert Edge number 1 right now. So
I don't disagree.
We'll see if that stays the same in August, right when season's about to start. So,
hey, Men Lie, Women Lie. Numbers don't. Gridiron, you always been the voice of this community for the longest amount of time, because I recently found that out, that guys have been on you for a long time. So
Yeah,
since the advent of Twitter. So there's that. Gridiron, I appreciate you.
for me, that's for sure.
Come on, man. I appreciate you, and I'm gonna catch up with you next week. A new 7-on-7 team,
All right.
because Gridiron does cover sevens. He's not just a Flight Club official numbers guy for Flight Club. He's covering. This is how he covers sevens. He uses
I'm
me as his vessel to cover
the
sevens.
red zone, I can tell you that. So,
All right, hey Gridiron, catch you next week. Appreciate you so much.
all right, we'll see you.
Yeah, man, there is a lot going on. There's in our high school football community, there's a lot going on with player movement. There's a lot going on with coaches, new coaches, coaches stepping away, things like that abruptly or whatever. Real quick, I did just want to say, I don't know the reasons, but um, and like I said, Coach Vaught, one of the amazing humans, best defensive minds that I've ever conversed with, and I hope he pops up and surfaces somewhere else, because I think he has so much to offer the game and the kids and the community, things like that. I'm not sure which other coaches are going to be leaving that program, but I do know that they were loaded with talented coaches up and down: Bart's, Ortiz, um, Wendell Schaefer, all three of their coordinators, some other guys underneath that. So. One of them started with an M. I cannot remember his name to save my life. I feel so bad. Um, but they have dudes over there, and I'm just super excited to see, what transpires for some of those guys. The big one that Gridiron did bring up that I'm super excited about is the Bushman hiring by Castile. Got to see Castile put out their cool graphic. Welcome to Castile. I think that Bushman is going to offer so much over there. Having the experience as a college coach. I know it wasn't Power Five or whatever, or G5 or whatever, but just having that experience and being able to bring some of that atmosphere, that college feel to a program like Castile and build that way. I think that that's going to be super exciting. Plus, I do know that that Lushner really had some boxes that he was looking to check, and I think that this checks them. So um, I'm ecstatic. I think that this is one of the better hires of the offseason. Gridiron brought up another one, Coach Wisdom. I think that Coach Wisdom is a super talented X's and O's guy that is going to be able to do some new things over there at Chandler. Hopefully, look, man, they had Aguano there for so long because Aguano was there as an assistant and then became the head coach and then obviously moved on to ASU. Then they brought on Garrettson, who was an Aguano guy, and not that the Ohana thing necessarily wore out, but I think it's nice to have a change, a full change, be able to have somebody come in and revamp some things. Maybe the coaching staff a little bit and get some new so just freshen things up a little bit, and I think that Wisdom is gonna be able to do that. So I'm excited for that. Coronel del Sol, Coach Lauer, Frana's going over there. um, I think that that's going to be a super interesting situation, those guys moving kind of across the street, and then tomorrow we find out Mountain Point, and I am excited about that. I don't have the inside track. Maybe I do, but I'm excited to find out, like, at the same time that everybody else does, who the next coach over there at Mountain Point is going to be. Um, the last one would be Mesa. Coach Kleka over there as the AD, is going to hire somebody amazing, I'm sure. And he's got some good options over here. ACP, I'm not sure who they bring in, but I think that there's one home run hire for them that could help continue what Vaught built in his one season at the top over there. Um, it's just a matter of do they hire that person or not. But yeah, see what happens with Mesa, see what happens with teams. Other than that, 7-on-7 teams, like I said, reach out to my guy Digos for your photos. Anything else that you need, if you want to let me know like how your teams did in a variety of tournaments, hit me up at Just Chili, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. You know the deal. Forks Up Forever. Y'all know what it is.